This is one of the famous bhajan by Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So this is anyway I'm doing it first time here. So again, just here because next time onwards maybe we're going to share it in advance, and then we can also make a practice of singing these songs. These are not ordinary songs. Vaishnava songs means the songs from realized soul. And when we hear or sing these songs, so it brings lots of transformation in our life. Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Bhajahure Mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Dulabha Madhava Janama Satsangi Tara Hare Bhava Sindhuve Dulabha Madhava Janama Satsangi Tara Hare Bhava Sindhuve Shita Atapa Vatavarishana Edina Yamini Jagire Shita Atapa Vatavarishana Edina Yamini Jagire Vipale se vinu kripana durjana Chapala sukhalava lagile Vipale se vinu kripana durjana Chapala sukhalava lagile Vidhana yauvana putra parijana Ite kiya che parati pihe Vedane yauvana putra parijana Ite kiya che parati pihe Kamala dala jala jivana talamala Kamala dala jala jivana talamala Bhaja Buhari Pada Niti Shavana Kirtana Smarana Bandana Pada Sevana Dasya Re Shavana Kirtana Smarana Bandana Pada Sevana Dasya Re Pujana Saki Jana Atmani Vedana Govinda Dasa Abhilasa Pujana Saki Jana Atmani Vedana Govinda Dasa Abhilasa Bhajahure Mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Bhajahure Mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Abhaya Charanara Vindare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar, Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. या विष्णुपाद प्रभु से प्रविष्टाचार्य स्कूल प्रशिक्षण स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद प्रभु से प्रविष्टाचार्य स्कूल प्रशिक्षण सिद्धांत गोसाई महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नवाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की जय। द्वारका धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। संवेद भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Shri Guru Gaurang ki jai. Hare Krishna. Please just hold your hand and repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे। Hare Krishna. So would you like to hear the meaning of this song? Yes. This is in Bengali, huh? Vaishnava songs are mostly in Bengali. So, though we have so many verses to cover today, but let me anyway, the deeper meaning is there. So, Govinda Das, he is the devotee who composed this song. So he is talking to his mind. Oh mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which make one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons. Both in the day and night, I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men. What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. It is the desire and great longing of Govinda Das to engage himself in the 9 processes of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of the Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense and so forth, serving him as a friend and completely offering the Lord one's very life, very self. So this is a prayer and realization together that in this material world, suffering, and the only solution is the lotus feet of the Lord. And how we can take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord? By devotional service. And there are 9 anga, 9 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasrivanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So these are the different processes we take shelter of Krishna or perform devotional service. So in our last section, we were talking about Bhakti Yoga, or we call it Buddhi Yoga or Nishkam Karma Yoga. So all these are 3 different words, but same thing. It's ultimately Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga means loving devotional service to Lord Shri Krishna. This is devotion. And we could also discuss about if we are not serving Krishna, or if we are not in devotional service, then we are serving ourselves. Self means not the soul, but bodily concept. That is what we discuss in detail about sense gratification. Enjoying or fulfilling the desire of our senses, that is called sense gratification, away from Krishna. It's not that our senses are there and there are the needs of the body is there. We have to fulfill it, but when we do it away from Krishna, without Krishna, that becomes sense gratification. And we also could learn that any activity, if it is not dedicated to Krishna, then that kind of activity becomes a cause of bondage, if it is not dedicated to Krishna. Sense gratification means good karma or bad karma. Just to enjoy the senses, either the person will do good karma or bad karma. And good karma and bad karma, both are cause of bondage. It will bring some kind of reaction in our life. But the activity which is done in Krishna consciousness as a devotional service to Krishna, that is transcendental. That is free from reaction. That is akarma. That is what we learned in our previous verses. And this is what the theme of Bhagavad Gita, the whole Bhagavad Gita is based on this theme only, right? So, and we could also see what is the benefit when we are in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. So some characteristics we were studying, and one characteristic was Neha Vikramana Swasti Prativayoga Vidyate. So this process, in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. And a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So this is the first characteristics of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. There is no loss at all. Even if we advance little bit, that also is going to save us from the greatest danger. What is that greatest danger? What is the danger we have in life?
Taking birth.
Yes, taking birth, not in a human form of life. Unfortunately, if we take birth in a lower species of life, that is the greatest danger. Because in that species of life, any other form, if we accept apart from human form of life, then that's a great danger. Because in that body, our consciousness level is not that much elevated. We cannot do any kind of self-realization, right? So that's the greatest danger. But in Bhakti Yoga, now we are safe. We are safe. So whatever bhakti we do, whatever devotional service we are doing, that will protect us to get into lower species of life. If we could not achieve the ultimate perfection of life, then also at least we are going to get human form of life. Again, Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe. So that is one guarantee. Means we have safe zone. Now we are in safe zone if we are in devotional service. And the next characteristics we will discuss here onwards, verse number 41. And also before that, last time I could not read the whole purport, but there's a quotation which is in Bible, Lord Jesus. What profit a man if he gain the whole world, yet suffers the loss of the eternal soul? This is the quotation from Bible. Jesus Christ, when he said, doesn't matter how much we accumulate, how much material benefit we are getting. At the end of the day, if we lose soul, losing soul means what? Losing this human form of life, getting into lower species of life. So that is the biggest loss. So ultimate goal of life is to save ourselves, true self, soul. Not body is anyway temporary, right? So that is what we are being taught. So also we could see Ajamila, the story of Ajamila we heard just by chanting the holy name of the Lord. He was saved from that greatest danger. So here the next characteristics, we will recite this shloka. This is also very much used in management also. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is management. You can manage any part of the life. So this shloka, Vyavasayatmika buddhir, you can recite after me. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushatha hi anantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So one-pointed focus, one-pointed attention. And we know that, the power of focus. So if we are clear with our goal from management point of view, this is the same principle is there. If you know your goal, you are clear with that, and you focus on that, then there is a chance of success. So similarly, Krishna is saying that Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasaya means business. And businessman is always very much focused on business. Whatever activities they do, they are they are focused with their profit. Are you getting this point? Businessman, they are always focused on one thing. Whatever they are doing, they want profit. So Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi, a person who is very much focused on his goal. Ekeha Kurunandana. Ekeha means they have one pointed attention, they have one goal, not many goals. If you have many goals and you are trying to achieve those goals all together, then there is a chances of failure. But if you are clear with one goal and you are focused on that, then you will achieve success. So it's the same point here Krishna is saying that. So those who are irresolute is many-branched. So if we really want our focus, one-pointed attention, then our goal must be clear. So here, one goal we have, that is Krishna consciousness. That is the goal of life. So one who is in Krishna consciousness, one who has understood the purpose of life, he will never deviate. But the person who does not understand this purpose, he will be deviated into so many things. So many things. So what Prabhupada is mentioning, a strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika intelligence. So we have to have this strong faith that Krishna consciousness will elevate us to the highest perfection of life. So one who is having this strong faith, if we do not have faith, then we will not be determined to move on this process. Sometimes we will do it, sometimes we will not do it. Why this is? Because we don't have this faith that Krishna consciousness, this process, following the instructions of Bhagavad Gita or chanting the holy name of the Lord, this will give me the perfection of life. If you do not have faith, based on faith only, why some people they are dedicating their whole life for this? It is all because of faith. If we have strong faith, then we will do everything. If we do not have faith, then we will be casual enough in this, right? So, of course, initially our faith is very not very strong. That's very natural. It's not like immediately somebody is coming in Krishna consciousness or somebody is coming in contact of a devotee and he will become very strong in faith. Not like that. Because Prabhupada is saying faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. Something sublime. And how does this faith comes? The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. So the first thing, when we receive knowledge, when we understand, this is what we are doing. So when we are regular in classes, when we are trying to understand the message, and once we clear all the doubts, our faith will become stronger. And our focus will be then resolute. We will be determined in our purpose. So that is the point. So if we do not have knowledge, then, and that's what second shloka Prabhupada is mentioning, men of a small knowledge. We will discuss about it. So here the point is, one who is in Krishna consciousness, he is always focused on his purpose of life. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is, okay, this is another point, but let's discuss on this more, because faith, and we are talking about faith. So how this faith develops into strong faith or unflinching faith. So what is the process, especially in bhakti we are talking about? So there are different processes, and we will go through those processes, and we will have unflinching, undeviated faith in Krishna consciousness. So the first is called Shraddha. Shraddha means that is faith, but may not be very strong faith. It may be shaking based on situations. So that is Shraddha. Because we all have Shraddha, you have Shraddha, little bit of faith. That's why you are giving your time here, right? Without faith, why you will spend, especially on Sunday morning, so many activities you have, so many responsibilities you have, still you are giving your time for this because you have some faith. Shraddha. So when we have Shraddha, the next stage is Sadhu Sangha, devotees association. We are all devotees, right? So when you have Shraddha, you are coming in contact with devotees. You are associating with devotees. Sadhu Sangha. Then starts Bhajan Kriya. Next step is Bhajan Kriya. So when you come in devotees, you start following the process. The process of hearing, the process of chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is process. And when we follow process, what is the next stage? That is called Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti means cleansing of the heart. If you do not follow the process, then that will not take place. That is a stage, another step. So why we are practicing, why we are doing some spiritual practices, the purpose of that practice is to cleanse the heart. So many anarthas are there within heart. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, lust, anger, greed, desire, envy. All these are anarthas. So when we do our sadhana, spiritual practices sincerely, the purpose of that spiritual practice is to purify our heart. And once anartha nivritti is there, once the heart is pure, then will come nishtha. So nishtha is firm faith. Firm faith. Now we will become stable in Krishna consciousness, nishtha. And from nishtha, the next stage goes, that is what is that? Ruchi. Ruchi is another further level up, spontaneous. Right now we may be in a situation to push ourselves. Oh, I have to go because somebody called me. Yes? So Ruchi means that will become spontaneous. You will start loving it, hearing about Krishna, chanting about the name of the Krishna. You will start loving Ruchi. asakti. Asakti is again further level. Means more deeper attachment to Krishna. Like we have attachment to so many material things, but in that case now attachment to Krishna will increase, right? And detachment to the worldly things or the bodily concept of life, worldly concept will reduce. Don't fear. Whenever we talk about this, no, they will be detached from worldly things. Sometimes we will understand what is worldly and what is Krishna consciousness. Once we have this understanding, we will not have this fear. Krishna consciousness is not something that you have to give up. You have to engage it in Krishna consciousness. Whatever we have, we don't have to give up. We have to simply understand how to utilize that, how to engage that. This is the beautiful process of Krishna consciousness. Whatever we have, either intelligence, whatever, we will engage something. So, ruchi, asakti, bhav, prema, these are the different stages in bhakti. So, prema is the highest, topmost level of bhakti. So, gradually we will reach to that stage. So, when we are having this faith, definitely we will reach on that stage. And as I said, because Prabhupada is mentioning, the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. And this state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. So it's not something mechanical that all of a sudden you will give up. No, this is progressive. This will automatically take place. Means attachment to Krishna means detachment to the world. Right? So that's a very natural progressive stage. So also Prabhupada is mentioning that the resolute purpose, how this purpose means the Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. What is that knowledge? Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. A person in Krishna consciousness is the real good soul who knows perfectly that Vasudeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. So this faith will only come when we have this knowledge that Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is the cause of all causes. And based on this understanding, knowledge, and when we practice, when we do devotional service, then this faith will increase. And also, Prabhupada is saying, the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. Krishna consciousness is the best service to the society. Best service to the society. How to understand it? Prabhupada gives an example that somebody, maybe one child, this is an example to understand. Maybe one child just he got lost from his parents or in some maybe crowded area. He got separated from his parents and he's crying, and somebody comes there and gives him some chocolate. And for the time being, the child, he becomes okay, happy. He forgets about his suffering. He forgets about his parent, and he is enjoying chocolate. And again, once chocolate is finished, then again he starts crying. Somebody comes, gives some kind of toys. Again he is playing with some toys. And after some time, again he remembers, I lost my father, I lost my mother. And he starts crying. Or giving some clothing or different kinds of food stuff. Even maybe, sometimes the child is hungry, so getting some food, somebody is supplying food. So for the time being, he forgets his suffering. But again, so how long this process will go? Prabhupada said, the intelligent person, what he will do, he will just connect the boy to his parents, or take the boy to his parents. Because the parents will take care of the boy. But otherwise, all the solutions are temporary solutions. If we are giving some food, some shelter, that is okay, we should do that. The example is just to understand that if we really want to help the person, so better to get the person to his father, and his father will take care, right? So Krishna consciousness means if we are all living entities, forgetful of our real father, we are just running here and there, finding out some solution, trying to be happy away from father. But some guru is the person who comes in between, who helps us to just reach us again to the Father, who is the richest person of the world. He is the source of everything. So once we go back to our Father, then every problem is solved. So that's why this example is given, that if we are really helping somebody to reach to Krishna, and Krishna will then take care. And this is the greatest welfare activity. Right? And this activity is possible, Krishna consciousness is possible with the help of Guru. So the next point which is mentioned in purport, that with the help of Guru, we can, with the guidance of Guru, we can understand Krishna, and we can also understand the process to come closer to Krishna. So yasya prasadat Bhagavad prasado yasya prasadat nagati kutopi. So how we can please Krishna? So by pleasing the representative of Krishna, means following the instruction of Guru. And sometimes people may ask that, no, Krishna is not here. Who will help us? Who will guide us? So Guru is representative of Krishna. So whatever Krishna wants from us, that is coming through Guru and Shastra. So we can take the help of Shastra, we can take the help of Guru, and with the help of Guru we can come closer to Krishna. And that is the purpose of life. So verse number 42 and 43, Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti vipashchita vedavadara partha nanyat astiti vadina kamatmanam swargapara janma karma phala pradam priya vishesa bahulam bhogaishwarya gatim prati. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Getting the point? So, this is the first point. Best intelligence is what? The intelligence which is in Krishna consciousness. That is the best intelligence. And in this verse, the first line, men of a small knowledge, means less intelligent people. Who are those? Men of a small knowledge, very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas. Flowery words of the Vedas. Pushpitam Vacham. What is that? We know about Veda. What is Veda? Veda means Vedic knowledge. We know about it. Veda. There are 4 segments. Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Athar Ved. These are the 4 Vedas. And we know that Vedas are the words of God. These are not, and this is the source of knowledge. We have discussed in detail in previous sessions. This is the source of knowledge, words of God. And what is mentioned over here, that which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets. So if we see Vedas, it is full of rituals. So many sacrifices, so many rituals. And what is the purpose of those rituals? What is the purpose of Vedas? Fruitive activities. Fruitive activities we know. Sakam karma, sense gratification, doing some activity to enjoy more, to enjoy our senses. Like, what is the example? Good birth. Why we are doing some activity? So that we will get next life better life, better birth, power, and so forth, and so many things. Good son, wealth, name, fame, position, different rituals are there mentioned. If you do that, you will achieve that, right? If you want to be free from diseases, then worship sun god. These are all Vedic injunctions. The point here is, and similarly Prabhupada is giving, like sacrifices called Jyotistoma sacrifices. These are the Vedic sacrifices, Jyotistoma. If somebody is desiring elevation to heavenly planets, they can follow this process. So heavenly planets must perform these sacrifices, and men with a poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole purpose of Vedic wisdom. So somebody who is not having complete understanding about Vedas, they think this is the only purpose. going to the heavenly planets and enjoy more sense gratification. Even to the Swargaloka, heavenly planets, what is the difference between this earthly planet and Swargaloka? What is the difference? The only difference is you have more enjoyment there. Everything in means manifold. We cannot compare this world earthly happiness, sense or the sense gratification or the happiness by senses compared to this earthly planet. Heavenly planets, they have more sense gratification, right? So ultimately the same thing in good quantity. That is the only difference. So another thing is mentioned that unenlightened men are similarly attracted by such heavenly opulence and the sense enjoyment. So one point is mentioned, 4-month penances become eligible to drink the Soma Rasa. If Chaturmas, there is Chaturmas, if somebody is doing austerity in 4 months, so they become eligible to drink Soma Rasa. You know what is Soma Rasa? You can say this is heavenly liquor. So it's nectar, some kind of nectar, you can say Soma Rasa, not ordinary liquor like this place. So beverages to become immortal and happy forever. So these are all achievements of these different sacrifices. So Soma Rasa, to become strong and fit to enjoy sense gratification. Why to become strong and fit? So that can enjoy more sense gratification. So and for this, and sometimes like always it is mentioned, like the small men of a small intelligence or less knowledge, they think this is all in all. This is the only purpose of life, and that's why they are attached to the pompous ceremonies of Vedic sacrifices. Sometimes you will see big people, they are doing so many rituals, doing some kind of Vedic sacrifices, so much of pomp and show, and all these sacrifices are not easy to do. Lots of investment is there. Lots of investment, huge amount, this Vedic yajna. But ultimately this is just bodily happiness. And there is also mentioned Nandana Kanan, this is garden. So what is there in this garden? There is a garden called Nandan Kanan in which there is good opportunity for association with angelic, beautiful women and having a profuse supply of Som Ras wine. So these are all heavenly planets. So such bodily happiness is certainly sensual, therefore there are those who are purely attached to such material temporary happiness as lords of the material world. So these are the different heavenly planets. Vedic rituals are meant to achieve these kind of this kind of achievement in heavenly planets, and this is all sense perception or sensual happiness, you can say. And we have understood that these are all temporary. These are all not the real cause of happiness. These are all temporary happiness and cause of suffering. An intelligent man, they do not take interest in such kind of pleasure, because this is temporary. As per your pious activities, you go to heavenly planet, you enjoy more, and once the pious activity, chine punya, once the pious activities, the punya is done, again you come back to the earthly planet, right? So anyway, this is not elevating you to the highest perfection of life. And that's why Prabhupada is in Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Because not only you will enjoy here, or you will go to, after this, you are going back home, back to Godhead, the spiritual world. So what is that which is stopping us? Which is stopping us, or which is not allowing us to be focused or to be determined on this journey, in spite of knowing that the material happiness is temporary and we will keep on going upside down, sometimes heavenly planets, sometimes lower planets. Our objective is not just suffering in this material world, taking birth again and again, death, disease, old age. No, our objective is to go out of this material world, achieve eternal life with Krishna in a spiritual world, Vaikuntha, Golok. That is the goal of life. So why we are not, in spite of knowing this, why we are not fixed? So the next sloka is saying, Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam tayo apahita chedasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhau na vidiyate. Very famous shloka in Bhagavad Gita. What is that reason why we are not fixed in Krishna consciousness? The reason is Bhog Aishwarya. Bhog means in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So let's understand it. Because our goal is Krishna consciousness, so we are talking about the obstacles in Krishna consciousness. So these are the two obstacles, Bhog, Aishwarya. Bhog means enjoying propensity. Bhoga, right? Enjoying separate from Krishna, that is called Bhoga. Everything for me. This mentality is called Bhoga. Aishwarya means different kinds of opulences. Maybe wealth, power, knowledge. These are the different opulences. So if somebody is just attached, just hankering for these things, he will not take interest in Krishna consciousness. These things will stop. Because sense enjoyment means I want to become Lord. So Lord it over material nature means I don't want Krishna as God. I don't want Krishna as Lord. I am the Lord. I want to enjoy. So this mentality will not help us to come closer to Krishna. Because this mentality is again, like in Vedas we are seeing, Vedas means whatever is mentioned over there, that is influenced with the three modes of material nature. Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Anything which is there that is influenced with these three modes. We all know about it, right? Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun, we know about it. So anything in this material world that will be influenced with these three modes. Either good work or bad work, that will be affected with the three modes, and it will be material. And one more purpose, let us understand. As I said, Vedas, words of God. Is it the real purpose of Vedas? Just to enjoy the senses? Why Krishna gave this Vedas? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Just try. What is the purpose of Vedas? Huh? This is not the whole soul purpose. But again, somebody may ask why Krishna then suggested or speaking about these kind of sacrifices, which is getting them into again material enjoyment, sense enjoyment. Why Krishna wants like this? So the purpose is gradual elevation, because Krishna knows that in this material world we are all attached with worldly things. We all hankering after sense enjoyment, and all of a sudden we cannot give up. Everybody is not in that stage. Like we could see somebody is having Shraddha, and with the process the person is reaching up to the stage of prema. Similarly, if somebody is too much attached from lifetime, many lifetimes we have been in this material world, we have been trying to lord it over material nature, we have been trying to enjoy separate from Krishna, then how is it possible that all of a sudden we will give up everything? So the process, the purpose of Vedas is gradual development, gradual progression. So wherever we are, we have to understand this is not the ultimate purpose of Vedas. We have to elevate from here, means from sense enjoyment, from material conception to the transcendental platform. That is the purpose of Vedas. So finally, Vedic injunctions that will help us to move from one stage to the another stage, from material plane to transcendental plane. That is the objective of Vedas. So somebody who is intelligent, they can understand they understand that this is not the whole soul purpose, but we have to move further. We have to advance our consciousness, and that's why Krishna in next verse, what he is suggesting Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavajuna Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. So what he is saying to Arjuna, the Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. This is very important learning. So what Krishna is saying, based on the comparison of heavenly planets and then Krishna consciousness, or the whatever Vedic injunctions are there, sense enjoyment, he is saying that Traigunya Vishaya Veda. What is saying? Just be free from, become transcendental to these three modes. This is the goal of life. We have to come out of this material conception of life. Means we have to come out of the three modes of material nature. Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. We have to go beyond this. What is beyond this? Shuddha Satogun. What is that Shuddha Satogun? Krishna consciousness. Activity in Krishna consciousness is beyond the three modes of material nature. Again and again we will keep on hearing this. So any activity we do in Krishna consciousness, keeping Krishna in center, that activity is not material activity, that is a spiritual activity that will not bring any kind of reaction in our life. And that's why Krishna is saying, Arjuna, just become transcendental to three modes of material nature, means understand the purpose of Vedas. Be free from all dualities. All dualities. Dualities means happiness, distress. This is duality. Duality means two parts. Victory, defeat, duality. So somebody who is in material conception, or they will always be attached with happiness, distress, victory, defeat. But Krishna is saying, be free from this. Don't bother about this. Just be free from this. Like we will learn in next shloka, means later section also, how we can be free from this. Anybody, if somebody is working, they will always think of profit and loss. But Krishna is saying, just be free from this. Means how we have to work? We have to work in Krishna consciousness. Do your best and live on the God rest. So this is what we will learn in our next class, Karmanyevadikaraste, which is very famous shloka of Bhagavad Gita, and we will understand the true meaning of it. So this one shloka will help us to understand how to act. So this is action in Krishna consciousness. Just forget about profit and loss, just do it out of duty, out of love. This is what we are learning. So he's saying, be free from dualities, because when we are attached with the result, that will bring anxiety and stress. If we do not get the desired result, that gives us anxiety, stress. But we have to be free from it. Then we have to be free from these dualities and from all anxieties. The same thing, yes? If we are free from dualities, if we are working in Krishna consciousness, we will be free from anxieties. Anxieties for what? Gain and safety, and be established in the self. Being established in the self means work for soul, work for the real purpose of life. So if we are fixed in it, here the point is, instead of getting into so many things or so many deviations in life, maybe Bhogeshwarya, whatever different things which is stopping us not to be focused on Krishna consciousness or the ultimate purpose of life, we have to give up those things, or we have to understand how to lead a life which is purposeful, instead of just leading, just going on without understanding the purpose of life. And in next verse, again in this verse, this is the again whatever we have discussed, which is given over there in a summary form. What about Vedas? What about the purpose of the Vedas? So Prabhupada is mentioning that the ultimate purpose of Veda, which is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedaishcha sarvair ahameva vedyo. The ultimate purpose of the Veda is to know me, Krishna is saying. The purpose is self-realization. So this is the ultimate purpose of Vedas, knowing Krishna. So if we do not know this purpose, and if we are getting stuck up with the flowery words means very attractive. All these different heavenly planets, different kinds of enjoyment, we will go there, we will enjoy. These are all flowery words. And it's very attractive. Maya is very attractive, right? But we have to use our intelligence that this is temporary, right? So we have to look for something eternal. And finally, Krishna is giving one example to understand it. Verse number 46. Yavan arth utpane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanata. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. This is a very nice example to understand. Can somebody explain what is this? All purposes served by a small well. Small well? What is the use of well? Getting some water? Can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. If you have a great reservoir of water, a big pond or the river, the purpose is going to be filled. What else you are going to get? If you have some other great reservoir of water, you're going to get water, and at the same time so many things you will get out of it, right? You will get some jewel, pebbles, so many natural resources, so many things you can get. So the same example Krishna is giving, that if you have all the purposes will be served. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So whatever is the purpose of the Vedas, if we know the purpose behind them, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purposes behind them. So if you know the real purpose of the Vedas, then everything will be taken care. And what is the purpose of the Vedas? To know Krishna, to know our relation with Krishna and how to serve in that relation. That is the purpose. So if you know this purpose, then you are the knower of the Vedas. Not just knowing all the different verses of the Vedas. Even if you mug up the whole verse, the whole Vedas, Chatur Veda, all the Vedas if you learn, but if you do not understand who Krishna is, what is my relation with Krishna, that is simply waste of time. But even if a child, if he knows that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are part and parcel of Krishna, he is the true knower of Vedas, because that is our end purpose. So in this purport, Prabhupada is saying, yes, Vedaishcha sarvaira ahameva vedyo. This is what Krishna is saying in 15th chapter. So this is the ultimate purpose, to know. And highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. What is that highest perfectional stage? Simply, the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by the indivisible living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. Is it clear? Instead of going just speaking and speaking. Is it clear at this point? What is the highest perfection of Vedic knowledge? Knowing Krishna. Not only knowing, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. Of course, simply by knowing that Krishna is the cause of all causes, we become Mahatma. Great soul. But simply knowing is not going to help. What is the use of knowing? And after that we have to take action. What is that action? Serving Krishna. Understanding that I am his servant. I am his part and parcel. So that is what. And now Prabhupada is giving one example, one shloka, quoting one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection. So this quotation Mother Devahuti, she is saying that Aho bat swapacho ato gariyan yat jivagre vartate namatubhyam te putapa te juhuvu sasnuarya brahma nuchu nama griharanti yete. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto. And what she is saying, oh my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chandal, Chandal means dog eaters. So there are 4 Varna ashrama, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Chandal is 5th category. Chandal does not come under this Varna ashram. So Prabhupada is giving dog eater. So dog eater means Chandal. So and what Devahuti, Mother Devahuti, what she is saying, although born of a low family like that of a Chandal, dog eater is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. If somebody is chanting the holy name of the Lord, chanting this devotional service, somebody has taken shelter, lotus feet of Krishna, and chanting the holy name of the Lord, even somebody has taken birth in the lowest caste or lowest family. So he is on the highest platform of self-realization. Why? Because if you talk about Vedas, there is a qualification to read Vedas. Brahmin quality, that is qualification, Brahmin. Brahmin not by birth, because now people have misunderstood, and even Brahmin, they claim that Vedic study is only for Brahmins. Then Brahmins means like Brahmajanati iti Brahman, one who knows about the self. But now in the name of just casteism, or people think Veda is just for a person who born in a Brahmin family, not like that. Right? But again, even if somebody is Brahmin, Brahmin is a big qualification. Big qualification. Brahma iti janati. So this knowledge, Vedic knowledge, is meant for a person who is very highly elevated. And everybody cannot read, everybody cannot memorize those things. So, what Prabhupada is mentioning, like in Kali Yuga, we are so less qualified, so many problems. We have limited age, we have short memory, less intelligent, so many obstacles in life, so many responsibilities, so many challenges, and also we are not in mode of goodness. Most of the people, like in Satyuga, people were in mode of goodness. For them, reading Vedas, memorizing shlokas were easier. But in Kali Yuga, most of the people are in mode of passion or in mode of ignorance. And if somebody is in mode of passion and ignorance, it will be very difficult to understand Vedic words, Vedic injunctions. So in Kali Yuga, it is not possible. Also, the Vedic rituals or different kinds of sacrifices, are we able to do that? We have discussed. In Kali Yuga, doing yajna is very difficult, because anyway you are not going to get some pure things or pure whatever yajna performances, different oblations, different paraphernalia we use in yajna. That is not pure. And no qualified brahmanas are there who can chant the Vedic mantra sincerely, properly, with proper meter. Because Vedic mantra you cannot chant like anyway. There is a proper meter, proper training is being provided to chant the Vedic mantra. Otherwise, the same mantra, if you chant in a different meter, that will bring different result. The same mantra. So that Vedic mantra or Vedic sacrifices is not possible in Kali Yuga. And that's why the simplest, the most sublime method, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now I think this is first time you are hearing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So, have you heard it? Yes. We will discuss, because in today's purport we are getting this name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. So Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, the last instruction he is giving to Arjuna, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sujaya. He just ordered, just give up all these religions. Religions means not Hindu, Muslim, Dharma, but all these different kinds of activities, different religions. Just take my shelter. I will free you, I will liberate you from all sinful reactions. Don't worry. Do not fear. So Krishna gave instruction, but how to take shelter of Krishna? Who is going to teach? So Krishna himself appeared in Kali Yuga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the form of a devotee, he is teaching us how to take shelter of Krishna. And also, we will discuss in detail in some other classes about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the purpose of his appearance, right? So here in this, we will discuss one story, one pastime from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. So here, the shloka, what Devahuti Mata is saying that somebody chanting the holy name of the Lord, doesn't matter from which background the person is coming, he achieves the highest perfection of, or the highest platform of self-realization. No other process is required. Such a person, now hear carefully, such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. This is Mother Devahuti saying. It means if we are chanting the holy name of the Lord, Mother Devahuti, she is saying that we have already done it. All these Vedic rituals, different Vedic sacrifices, a study of Vedas, everything is done in previous lives. Without pious activities or without all these penances, performances, how we are getting this opportunity, right? So we have to understand, if we are hearing about Bhagavad Gita, if we are chanting the holy name of the Lord, it means this is what the Mother Devahuti is talking about, that we have already performed those things. And then, so like we have been doing, every time we recommend that, whatever we are hearing, whatever different processes are there in bhakti, the most important process is chanting the holy name in this Kali Yuga. Why? Because this is Yuga Dharma. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself appeared just to give this process without any qualification. Anybody and everybody can chant. There is no rules and regulations, difficult rules and regulations in whatever situation you are in, wherever you are, simply chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting the Mahamantra, we will be liberated from all the material miseries. We will be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. We have to have this faith. Immediately it will not come. But yes, this is what the process Krishna himself giving. And once, and if you go through the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, he was very intelligent. He is God himself. So many beautiful pastimes we will discuss later. But he was, from the very childhood, he was very intelligent. So one incident, seeing the time, we will discuss. So this one incident which is mentioned over here, when he was on his tour, he was traveling as a sannyasi. He was traveling. So once he came to Varanasi, and there he met with Prakashanand Saraswati. So Prakashanand Saraswati, he was very renowned, very staunch follower of Mayavad. I mean, he was again a sannyasi, Mayavadi sannyasi. So Mayavad means, we have been discussing this word, one who does not accept the form of Krishna, or means they have they do not take part in bhakti yoga. They think that simply by getting knowledge or by reading or reciting the Vedic verses, they will achieve perfection. So there are so many things. So Mayavad, in simple terms, they do not accept the form of Krishna, form of God. They believe in it that God has no form. And also they believe that Brahma means, like, of course, God. When he comes in this material world, he is covered with the three modes of material nature. Mayavad. Means they believe in it that when God, when he comes to this material world, first of all, God has no form. But when God, means Brahma, when he comes to this material world, he also becomes like us. He is covered with the three modes of material nature. He is also influenced by these three modes of material nature. But this is not the reality. God is always God. Either he is a child, like Krishna. In childhood, he was not supposed to do some kind of miraculous activities to become God. He was God from the childhood. He was performing all godly activities from the very childhood. It's not that somebody is doing some austerity, some penances, some kind of tapasya, and after that he becomes God all of a sudden. No. God is always God. Either in material world or in a spiritual world, God is always God. And God has a beautiful form. Even Brahmaji, the first creator, he himself declaring this, Satchit Anand Vigraha. Krishna has a form, beautiful form. When we say God is Nirakar, it means God is not having body like us. Our body is made up of earth, fire, earth, water, air, fire, ether, material body. But God has a spiritual body, eternal body. Sat, Chit, Anand, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. So God has form. So anyway, the point here is Prakashanand Saraswati, because he was aware that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is again coming from the similar background. He was also very intelligent. He was also initiated by a sannyasi, and a big story is there, but he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his court. So many hundreds of sannyasis were sitting over there, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered over there, so first of all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sat on a place where all the sannyasis, they were coming and just putting their sleepers and everything. He sat on that place. So Prakashanand Saraswati just got him up and then gave him a big elevated place to sit down. And then Prakashanand Saraswati said, "You are so intelligent. I know about you. You are coming from such a nice background. You know about Vedas, everything. Why you are chanting and dancing like a madman on the road?" You have seen, like, ISKCON devotees, street Sankirtan, chanting and dancing with the holy name of the Lord. So the same, this is coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sing, used to chant the holy name, right? So Prakashanand Saraswati, he said, "Why you are doing this? These are all sentimental activities. No, you are intelligent. You should behave like better, read scriptures, or read Vedas, speak about Vedas. That is your job." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in response, he said, "When I met my Guru Maharaj, when I met my spiritual master, and my spiritual master said, I am fool number one. Though he is not, he is very intelligent. There is a previous pastime wherein he defeated many scholarly people in childhood. One Keshav Kashmiri, Prakand Vidwan, he defeated many intelligent people, and when he came to Navadvipa, so all the intelligent people, big exalted people knowing all the Vedas, they left the place because they were fearful with Keshav Kashmiri, that he is very intelligent. And what he was doing, Keshav Kashmiri, he was doing Shastra competition. Like we have different kinds of games to cricket, this, that. So earlier, this was a game, doing Shastra, doing some kind of discussion and defeating the person. Once the person is defeated, getting the sign of the person. You sign here, Vijay Patra, getting the signature of the person that you accept the defeat and sign over here. So he was doing the same activity, and he entered in Navadvipa, and at that time, Navadvipa, it was the place of all intelligent people. Big universities were there, very intelligent people were there. So he entered in that place, and most of the intelligent people left the place out of fear that now we will have to accept the challenge of Keshav Kashmiri, and he will defeat us, and we will have to sign the defeat or that patra. They left. In Keshav Kashmiri, somebody out of jokes, they were just thinking that better let me send Keshav Kashmiri to Nitai. Nitai is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's childhood name. So, no, Nimai, sorry. So Nimai. And they were thinking like, okay, if Nimai is being defeated by Kesho Kashmiri, we will say that, okay, he is a child. Right? And somehow, if Nimai defeats Kesho Kashmiri, we will say, see, a child defeated Kesho Kashmiri. So we are so great, no? What to talk about us? So with this plan, when Kesho Kashmiri entered in Navadvipa, so there's the people, they say that Nimai is very intelligent. He is there on the bank of Ganges, river Ganges. You go there and you do Shastrat with him. He is very intelligent, very expert. And Kesho Kashmiri went there and just identified. It's a beautiful pastime, big story. Just cut to short. And then there was a discussion started. First of all, he said, you are Nimai, and I got to know that you are very expert in grammar. I am Kesho Kashmiri, and I want to do Shastras with you. And Nimai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at that time, he said, I know you are very intelligent. I am just a small boy. There's no question of competition. Anyway, you are here, and I know your glory. So do one thing. No, in the glory of Mother Ganga, please recite something, say something. And immediately, Kesho Kashmiri was so intelligent, hundreds of shlokas. Immediately, in the glory of Mother Ganges, he composed hundreds of shlokas. Immediately. It was not something he composed earlier and then he, just mug up and then reciting, not like that. Immediately, he recited hundreds of shlokas. And then Nimai, he said, just picking one of the shloka in between, just one of the shloka, Nimai, he recited that shloka and said, let's now find out some mistakes in this verse. And Kesho Kashmiri was shocked. First of all, he said, how can you remember one of the shloka? I spoke all these verses, just like with the speed of mind, with the speed of air. And how is it possible that you could remember one of the shloka in between? And Nimai said, like Mother, God has given you power to compose shlokas. Similarly, God has given me some power to memorize shloka. So, and also he was very much shocked. So he said, okay, at Kesho Kashmiri, he said, in my composition, there can never be any fault. So Nimai said, no, let's try. I think there are some faults. And one after another, so many faults. Nimai, he started explaining, this is the fault, that is fault, so many mistakes. And Kesho Kashmiri was just bewildered, shocked, and he was not able to understand what to do. Then Nimai said, better, you are tired enough from your journey, go and take rest, we will meet tomorrow. So Kesho Kashmiri, he went back to home and he started praying Mother Saraswati because she was follower, she was worshipping Mother Saraswati, and he started crying in front of Mother Saraswati. What happened? Why? I'm not getting your mercy today. Just a small boy defeated me. Why it is happening? So Mother Saraswati, she said, because the person you were doing competition today, he is my master. Just go and accept his, take his shelter. And then next day, Kesho Kashmiri, immediately he came and he accepted the shelter of Nimai. He accepted that he is not an ordinary boy, he is Krishna himself. And the same Nimai as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meeting with Prakashananda Saraswati. And when Prakashananda Saraswati said, why you are doing all this chanting, dancing on the street? He said, when I met with my Guru Maharaj, my Guru said, you are fool number one. And he gave me this holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he said, simply by chanting this name, you will achieve the perfection of life, perfection of Vedic knowledge. And when I got this mantra, and when I started chanting the holy name, I was feeling so much of ecstasy in my body. My hairs were standing on an end. Sometimes I was jumping, sometimes I was falling down, sometimes I was conscious, sometimes I was unconscious. I don't know what started happening in my body. Different kinds of Ashta Vikar. This is called Ashta Sattvic Vikar. when somebody is in ecstasy, this kind of symptoms are there. Tears coming from out, from eyes, the hairs is standing on an end, some kind of perspiration is there, excitement is there. So I don't know why it started happening. And again, when I went to my guru, the spiritual master, I told him that this is what happening. What have you given me? Why it is happening with me? Then my guru told me that this is what the purpose of holy name. You have achieved the purpose. This is what you have achieved the purpose. Now go and distribute this holy name to everyone. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is distributing the holy name, the most sublime method to achieve the purpose. That love of God within our heart. Right? So, and because this is what the purpose. Vedashcha sarvera hameva vedi. And Prakashananda Saraswati, with his 10,000 followers, there is a detailed description, but with his 10,000 followers, he took shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All of them became devotee of Krishna. They accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is not sentimental activity. Devotees of Krishna, they are very, very intelligent. And like we are discussing here, when you take shelter, when you start chanting the holy name, it's not that. All the purposes of the Vedas is automatically fulfilled. They become most intelligent person. Right? So there is no loss in this business, in this journey. So now on a daily basis we are doing this, how to chant properly. We are learning 15 minutes, 20 minutes class we are doing on a daily basis online. So better join and because this practice will go on throughout life. And this is only which is going to transfer this knowledge into realization. So let's take this process, chanting the holy name of the Lord, very serious. And nothing is required. Nothing is required. And Prabhupada just will close this. Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom. And the author and the knower of the Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. Who gave this Vedas? Lord Krishna himself. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. Ready to chant? Everyday chanting. Let's get this sublime method in our life. Chant every day. Whether you have taste as of now, do not have. But chanting, as I said, for the pleasure of Krishna. I don't like, no worry. But for the pleasure of Krishna, let me start chanting. So do it on a regular basis. Thank you so much.
We chant one now?
Oh, I think we can chant. Instead of doing this kirtan, let's chant one round. So another 5-7 minutes we have. We'll do chanting and then we'll close. So every morning we have been talking few techniques, few tips. So not in much detail, but whatever small things we are learning, first we have to get into practice of that. So as I said, like mantra meditation means the simple process is chanting and hearing. We have to chant the holy name and we have to hear that. Simple. But whatever different techniques which is going to help us in chanting and hearing in a much better, in a much attentive way, that we have to use. Otherwise the whole soul process is chanting and hearing. That's it. So in our morning session, like we are reading one book and from there whatever different techniques are there. So the first is alignment of body, mind and heart. Alignment is required. Though you can do like anything, but if we are aligned enough, if our body, mind and heart is aligned, then we will have greater impact of holy name. So what is the alignment of body means? Sit in a very comfortable, nice place, peaceful place, and if possible, your body allows, sit straight. And different yoga process is there, different yogic posture is there. If you're sitting in that posture, that is also good. but based on your body, if body doesn't allow, you can sit on chair also, that is fine. So alignment of body means sitting posture and pronunciation. Every syllable we have to clearly pronounce and hear. So this is body, alignment of the body. Alignment of mind means that because mind is very flickering, it will deviate us or it will go into different thoughts will be there. Don't at all bother about it. Forget about past, forget about future, just be in present. Right now, my only duty is to chant and hear. Mind will go away, but as Krishna said, bring it back. So again and again we have to bring it back to chanting and hearing. This is called alignment of mind. Right? And the third is alignment of heart. We have to have that longing, desire for Krishna. And different methods are there, like different beautiful prayers are there. Or as of now, the meaning of the mantra, that is one we can meditate upon. Like the meaning of this Maha Mantra is what Srila Prabhupada says that, O Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, reservoir of all bliss. Ram means bliss. Reservoir of all bliss, Lord Ram, right? Kindly engage me in your loving devotional service. So we have to have this mood that we are begging for service. Kindly engage me. So these are the few things, if we keep in mind and chant and hear, gradually we will see our chanting will be attentive. So let's start. So first mantra, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shiva Sadikaur Bhaktavrinda. So this is again, we are begging mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we can chant this holy name. Holding the speed, let's start Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Just be present and keep on chanting. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Also in between you can be grateful, keep on chanting and feel grateful to Krishna that Krishna has given so much and by His mercy we are able to chant His name. So being grateful will also help. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So initially, anyone, if you like to share your experience, anybody can share. Yes. Yes. You want to share something? How you are feeling? Whatever is the feeling. We are not expecting day one at Prema stage. But what was there in your mind? What was happening?
Definitely in the middle I was carried away. I was lost. Yes. Then I came back.
Yes.
Then I could realize, I could see his lotus feet. I was
Wow.
like feeling grateful. Like I was trying to get into realization that yeah, I'm chanting and I'm feeling, I could hear.
Yes.
The
Let the sound go through your ear. That is the foremost practice. This is the practice we have to do. Sound vibration, this transcendental sound vibration, this should go to the ear. And then you will see the magic. And whatever different techniques we are using, sometimes being grateful will bring the mind back. Sometimes determination will help us. No, I have to just chant and hear. Start with determination. Sometimes creating some urgency. Urgency means just having a feeling that I may not get this opportunity. I'm so fortunate. I'm getting this opportunity. Any moment I can lose. So let me, like when you are in some emergency, we become so serious about something, right? So with that seriousness, let me chant this. So this kind of techniques will help us to chant and hear sincerely. And this will bring magic. And just do it every day. Start with slow. Even the time we took almost 10-12 minutes. But once you are in flow, you will catch up with your natural speed, flow, and very comfortably you will chant. Initially you may have some pain also, right? Because we are not in practice. But once you do it on a regular basis, it will become very smooth, very, the speed, everything will be there. And within 6.5 minutes or 7 minutes maximum, you will be able to chant one round every day. So increase this practice. I will do this practice on a daily basis. This is the crux of whole Vedic scripture. Bhagavad Gita, after that there is Srimad Bhagavatam, 12 cantos, and the whole education, the culmination of whole education, whole Srimad Bhagavatam is chanting the holy name of the Lord. Finally, we are reaching to this final destination, that we have to chant the holy name. So, thank you so much for participating in this Sankirtan. Do it on a regular basis. We have long journey to go. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada, please come go to the Shri. Time.
Can you do
Better, you want to do?
Yeah, everybody wants to do it.
We'll try to do our time then. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadadaini. Niramyakashi Purvakshaha. Shrilatamha न खालाए तो न सिंहा परतो न सिंहा yato yato yami tato nasimha Bhir nasimha hridaye nasimha Narasimhadim sharanam prapade Tava kara kamala bare Naka adbhuta shingam dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubinga Vishavadrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev 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 Jai Narasimhadev Jai Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Harinam Sankirtan Yadiki Jai Shri Prabhupada